The FBI is investigating this incident as an act of targeted violence.
The rhetoric has to stop. Is that it's just got to stop. It's dangerous, and people are losing their lives.
Right now, federal agents digging into the background of Joshua John, the 29-year-old our sources are naming as the suspected gunman in the deadly Dallas ICE shooting. Welcome back as America Reports rolls into a second hour. I'm John Roberts in Washington, and good to spend it with you. Tough news again today.
It is, again, another shooting today on this Wednesday afternoon. I'm Jillian Turner in for Sandra today. So we have learned that the suspect was registered as an independent in the state of Oklahoma. You're looking right now at photos from the FBI that show anti-ICE scrawled on a bullet casing that was found on the scene. Bullet holes ripped through an American flag as well, a display inside that Dallas facility.
Officials are calling it an act of targeted violence, coming just 4 weeks to the day after the Catholic school shooting in Minneapolis and just 2 weeks after Charlie Kirk's assassination in Utah.
Jason Chaffetz is here on the surge in ideological violence plaguing the country as Republicans point to anti-ICE rhetoric on the left like this before today's shooting.
Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets.
The real thing that's happening here are the egregious ICE raids.
As somebody who understands history, when I see ICE, I see slave patrols.
The Deputy Director of ICE is Madison Sheehan, and she joins us now. It's a busy day, Madison. Thank you very much for coming in. We really appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me.
So we want to get into the climate around all of this in just a moment. But first of all, you were sharing with us a moment ago and asked you to share it with the audience. A lot of new information about the shooting and how it all unfolded.
Absolutely. So this is an ongoing investigation being led by Dallas Police Department as well as the FBI. We'll always defer to our partners and allow them to conduct this investigation. But what we do know so far is that this shooter was firing indiscriminately throughout the whole building. And so this shooter was at a building nearby and shooting directly into the building, going across the entire length of the building, and then including into the Sally Port, which is then where we're seeing a lot of the focus of the investigation in that Sally Port area. But you saw the photos of the American flag and saw that this punctured into the facility. This could have put law enforcement officers in a very dangerous situation, and we're already dealing with casualties of the illegal aliens. That is a tragedy in itself, and we're praying for them and their families and the law enforcement officers that responded to the scene.
So just to be clear again, it was believed early on in the investigation that the Sally Port was specifically targeted, but you're saying that's not the case? The entire building was this assailant's target?
We found bullets throughout the entire building that had punctured into the facility, targeting the entire ICE facility.
Wow. Can you tell us anything about the victims, what countries they're believed to be from, or any identifying information at all?
So we're working with our local officers to identify next of kin and make sure those notifications are made. Until that time, I don't want to jump ahead of any of the next of kin or families dealing with this tragedy.
But I mean, I think they were in ICE detention custody. They were being put into detention. Is it safe to extrapolate that ICE believes that they were in the country illegally?
So these were aliens that were arrested, brought into ICE's custody, were being processed at this facility, and then would have been moved to a long-term detention facility.
You know, we have seen the pictures, and we can put it back up again, of the stripper clip with 5 rounds. And you have more information about the weapon itself.
Yeah, so we're working with the FBI to identify the weapon. We're obviously assuming it's a long-range weapon, not looking like a modern firearm at the time, but we'll continue to investigate with the FBI of the actual weapon and what was used in the process.
Stripper clips like that are typically used in a Mauser, used in an M1 as well?
Yes, absolutely. Right. These are very similar weapons that we've seen being used in multiple attacks in recent day.
Have you ever seen anything like this before, that message that the FBI director tweeted out on that casing that said anti-ICE?
I think you're seeing anti-ICE rhetoric all over the country right now. I mean, we're being compared, our officers who are putting themselves at risk to protect the American people, to remove the worst from our communities. They're seeing this anti-ICE rhetoric all over the place. We're being compared to the Gestapo, to the Nazis, and that's just not true. And it's dangerous rhetoric that puts us in situations like this. Men and women of law enforcement go out every day to protect the American people, to put the American people first, to keep our communities safer. And we're going out and demonizing them and doing things against what men and women of ICE are doing when they really should just be thanked for their service.
I mean, what we have to remind people at home that ICE is carrying out the laws of the United States of America. And what ICE is doing now is no different than what was done during the Obama administration, when many people in his own party termed him, quote, the deporter in chief. Why the difference, though, between what happened, and it was really focused around 2013 to 2015, and what's happening now?
Well, I always remind people the men and women of ICE are enforcing immigration laws. It's written. We're not picking winners and losers. We're going out and enforcing the laws that are on the books. These are the same laws that Obama enforced. But President Trump is taking the stand and making sure that we're enforcing the law as it's written, with the support of Secretary Noem leading the way to make sure we get these dangerous criminals removed from our community. And the left has chosen to make that a political punchline and using that against the men and women of ICE and truly putting them in harm's way. This facility in particular isn't the first time that they've had violence at this facility. This facility faced a bomb threat just weeks ago. We had the Prairieland attack also in Texas, and we're continuing to see this heightened rhetoric that forces our officers to be in an increased security posture as well while they're out doing their job.
What else can be done? I mean, you just focused on the rhetoric, but even if everybody stopped commenting on ICE publicly, period, tomorrow, it wouldn't stop deranged psychopaths like the shooter today from trying to perpetrate attacks against officers. What else would you like to see happen?
Well, obviously, we know the internet is a deep, dark place, and you can find a lot of this rhetoric there, and it continues to increase. I would say the biggest thing as an American people, we need to understand that these are times for us to come together. These are moments that both the right and the left can come together, understand that there is an increased level of violence in the United States, and we want to make sure that we're putting our law enforcement officers in the best posture to not only be safe, but go home to their families at night. These are men and women who live in the community, just like you and I. And we want to make sure that they're safe in their own homes, but also safe when they go to work, when they're working to protect us.
Do you know anything more about the assailant, 29-year-old Joshua John? We know that he is registered as an independent in Oklahoma. He voted in the November election last year. I'm sure that his social media is being scrubbed, trying to find out what he was thinking prior to this. Absolutely.
The FBI and the Dallas Police Department, as well as Homeland Security investigations, are working hand in hand to make sure that we're scrubbing social media sites, investigating, interviewing those that were around him, as well as looking into any properties or vehicles that he may be associated with. And throughout this process, more and more information will come to light as we learn it. And we maintain being committed to transparency throughout this process. My first phone call this morning when I received this was to Secretary Noem, and she's been actively engaged every 15 minutes receiving updates. This is a secretary that cares about the American people, that care about the men and women of ICE, so that way she can update the president as well. But Secretary Noem has been incredibly hands-on throughout this process. And our thoughts and prayers are with the families that are affected, as well as the law enforcement officers that have been responding to this scene.
Well, we know today is not an easy day for you to kind of take time out to come join us here, but we really appreciate it. It's more important information than ever before. Thank you, Madison.
Thank you.
Thank you for the update. See you again, hopefully under better circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Madison.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.